my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new here. I'm very excited for today because this has been a video that I've been wanting to record for a while, and it's definitely something that affects my life quite a bit. It might not affect everyone else's life because it really depends on where you live. Where I live, we have pretty bad winters, except for this winter. This winter is so weird. Like, we have snow and then we don't have snow and then we have snow and then we don't have snow. Snowed on Christmas, so we had snow for Christmas, then it all washed away the next few days. It's been a really weird winter. But we have some snow right now, and it's below the zero, which is not super cold. Usually we're at like -20, which is pretty cold. I live in Canada, by the way, so we use Celsius. I have no idea what the comparison to Fahrenheit is, but yeah, -20 Fahrenheit. And we can sometimes even get as cold as -40 depending on where you live. In my old town where I lived, we got to like -40 sometimes, and that's pretty cold. That being said though, this little thing is helpless without me. You know, I gotta take care of him, take him for his walks, feed him, all that good stuff. And with that, like in the winter, we have to make sure that we're taking care of our dogs just as much as we're taking care of ourselves. Because we bundle ourselves up greatly to go out in the snow and the cold and the winter and whatnot, and we sometimes don't think about these guys. We say, oh, they have fur, they're okay, you know, they're used to withstanding the winter, and that might be true for some breeds, like Huskies, Malamutes, Samoyeds, those big super fluffy ones, Newfoundlands, St. Bernards, all of those ones are super used to being in the cold, and they have the body type and the fur type for that. But guys like Cavaliers, they're pretty wimpy, aren't you? And he doesn't take the cold very well. And I know, like, it really depends on the dog, where they grew up, how they lived. Like, my dogs back home that my mom has, they're two little Shih Tzu Maltese dogs, and they're pretty good in the cold. But him, I mean, I got him last winter, so he grew up through the winter last year, but it's still like, there's still certain things that he doesn't like, especially the salt on the paws. I know it's the salt on the paws because when we went back home, they use sand on the ground there, and he had no issues when walking on that compared to when he walks on the salt here, but we'll get into that later. With all that being said, I wanted to talk about some of my winter essentials to take care of him, to make sure that he's okay going out in the cold, in the weather and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, let's just get right into that. So the first thing I have are coats. And these are like all of the coats that I've had for Romeo since I got him. So this is when I like first got him. It's tiny on him now. Like it would not fit him. It's a size 10. But there's so many different options of coats that you can get. You can get thicker ones, like this one's pretty thick. We actually got this one as a gift from one of our friends who had a cavy about a year older than Romeo. This one I bought before I even got him. It's pretty thick. It's got nice like Sherpa kind of material on the inside to keep them warm. For those lighter days, you can get the just ones like this that are kind of like a windbreaker almost, and this one's also kind of like a windbreaker too. Not super bulky compared to these guys, but they will still definitely keep your dog warmer than if you're just walking them without one. And sometimes that's what your dog needs. If you're going for long walks or whatever, if you're having to be outside for a long period of time and your dog's with you, if they don't have a coat on, they can get very grumpy. And that's the case with him. Even when we're outside and he has all his stuff on sometimes. When we're walking, obviously he's producing heat and he's okay. But when we stop, he's like, nah, I don't want to stop. I want to keep going. And he starts getting grumpy and cold and all that kind of stuff. This is our current jacket. We actually just got this as a Christmas present from one of our friends, and it's super cute. It's reflective, I'm pretty sure, which is nice. We haven't had like opportunity to try it out completely yet because we haven't gone for big walks recently. We've been mostly just in our backyard, but this is another one that you can tell that it's not super thick, but it's definitely gonna help keep away some of the cold that your dog might face if you were to walk in the winter. Next up, we have sweaters, and I have so many different sweaters and stuff from the time Romeo was a baby to now. This was his very first one. It literally only fit him for like the first 2 weeks that we had him. Now it's way too small. It doesn't even fit on his head. You can see his snout. That's it. Right, Romy? So yeah, these are his old ones. Like I said, with the coats, there's definitely different styles. This one has like tiny little sleeves. This one has no sleeves. This one's the same style, just different pattern. They have no sleeves on them. These ones also have like a very boxy end, whereas this one has a very rounded end. This is another older sweater that we got for him that doesn't really fit him anymore. It kind of fits, but not really. And again, it's just very simple, but it definitely helps with layering, keeping them warm. Sometimes you only need a sweater for your dog. Sometimes you need a sweater and a jacket. So having all of it is great. And also too, one thing you want to maybe keep an eye on is depending on if you use a harness or a collar on your dog. I use a harness for Romeo personally, so I try to find sweaters that have holes in them for the harness. Otherwise, it's very difficult to put the harness on because you have to put it over top and then you have to readjust it and then readjust it again next time if you're not using the sweater. It's not a huge hassle, but it's definitely like extra work that you don't always want to do. So keeping in mind whether or not they have a harness hole. This one does, but these two here, they do not. So what I would have to do is, well, actually when Romeo used to wear these ones, he wore a collar, so it's not an issue. But now if you were to wear them still, I would have to put the harness over top and then maybe put a coat over top of that if he's wearing it or whatever. But it kind of ruins the aesthetic that you're going for when you're putting a sweater on your dog. So it's not ideal, but whatever you can do to keep your dog warm is essential. This is another sweater that I have for Romeo this year, and this one's actually pretty thick. And I actually got this sweater at a store called HomeSense, and that's a really great like discounted home goods store. It's also got the harness hole, so that's good. And if you put it up, he'll have little antlers. He hates it, but I love it. And then this is another sweater. This is definitely more of a decoration sweater, so if you get this one, it's more for like having on top because it has like the antlers for when you're Rudolph, or it has the pom-pom for when you're Santa because it's a reversible one. It's got the belt buckle on this side for Santa's coat and then the tail. This is also another good option. It's definitely thicker. You can feel that it's heavier, but that's also because it has to use extra material because it's got both the inside and the outside patterned. So this one's good. It definitely helps keep warm, and it does have the harness hole, as I mentioned. Now, this one's a bit tricky. So this is Romeo's current sweater. It's huge compared to the other ones. Like, look at, this is his current one. This is his first one. That's crazy. But this one is a good one. It helps him keep warm. The only thing is it doesn't have a harness hole technically. But I found this little hole that I can kind of like pull the collar up a bit and put his harness through. So it's not a huge issue. And I mean, if I really wanted to, I could definitely tailor a little hole that I could put the harness in. But it is a really good sweater overall, and it does definitely help him keep warm. This is the one that I use the most right now because it's the one that fits him the best. It's also the one that keeps him the warmest out of all the ones that we have, in my opinion. And also it's the one that he tolerates the most because it's kind of the most loose. And this one is another one that is a gift, and it's not really a sweater, but it's definitely good for layering in my opinion because it is nice and thin, so it will fit under jackets nicely. But it's just a nice little shirt, and those are definitely helpful for layering, like I said. So if you want to layer, just have something light underneath. This is like, something like this is the perfect option. And how cute is this? I think it looks so cute on him, especially because he has black fur, so it kind of like pops a bit and it makes him stand out a bit more. My next pet winter essential is Paw Balm, and this is the one that I have currently. It's called the Invisible Sandal, and this is great because it is a balm for their paws, so you can see that I've used it quite a bit, and it just goes right on their paw. You just take a little bit on your finger, and Romeo's gonna give me some slack because he hates his paws being touched. But you just rub it on their paw and it helps to moisturize them, which is great in the winter when you have salt and sand and everything on the ground that might be hurting to dehydrate their paws. It's great for summer too because their paws do get dry in the summer too. But it's a good thing to have, and it helps keep them safer, and so their paw pads aren't cracking or anything. Romeo's not a huge fan of it because he, like I said, he doesn't like things touching his paw, but he's fine once it's on. And it is non-toxic, obviously, because there are dogs that are going to be trying to lick their paws. So yeah, I think he got it on my sweater and now he's licking my sweater. So Paw Balm is definitely a great one that you should have in your closet, cupboard, whatever, at all times. Going along with that, you do want to possibly get some dog boots. Now, there's so many different kinds of dog boots. Some boots work for some dogs, while they won't work for others. These are the boots I had for Romeo last year. They were kind of like a sock with a rubber dipped sole, so these are them. They were super good. They worked really well on him. He walked really well in them, but obviously they don't fit him anymore because he's grown so much in the last year. But these were the ones that I got him last year, and honestly they worked pretty well. The only thing I will say is you definitely have to try to make sure that you're tightening it as much as possible, or else they will fall off, and that was a bit of an issue that we had once in a while. But once you got the hang of tightening it enough, it was no problem. And these are the ones that I have for Romeo this year. They're a lot more heavy duty. They have a much thicker sole. They have like actual grips on the bottom, and I like the Velcro on this one better because it has a little like plastic thing that holds it in place so you can actually tighten it really well. Again though, with these ones you have to make sure that you're tightening it all the way, or else it's not gonna work properly. They will fall off. I haven't had that issue a single time with these ones with Romeo because I have been able to actually tighten it completely. There are a ton of other different styles though. I know there's the balloon boots. I personally don't like them. I find them very difficult to put on, and you go through them so quickly because your dog's nails are ripping through them. They get caught on something on the ground. So I prefer more heavy duty, long lasting ones like this, or like the ones from last year, because if I wanted to use the ones from last year still, I totally could. The only issue is that Romeo has grown out of them. And kind of going with that as well, if you live in an area where you have to salt the sidewalk or the street, whatever, making sure to have a dog safe salt is really, really helpful. Just because most of the salts that they put down on the roads or sidewalks in the city where I live is not great. If you remember back a while ago, there used to be the salt and ice challenge, and basically you would put salt on your skin and then you would hold ice to it, and it would actually create burns on people's skin because there's a chemical reaction between ice and salt. I don't know the specifics of it, but it creates a burn and it's really, really bad. It's like, it can get really bad. You can really damage your skin. And the same is for your dog's paws. Whether you're using a paw balm or not, if you're still getting that cold, wet, salty mixture on your paws, it can start to hurt. Romeo, when he gets that on him, he starts yelping and screaming, and he hates it. He is very dramatic, I will say that, but it's definitely something that he does not like, and I do not want to see him go through that pain. By putting the dog safe salt down, at least around where you live, that definitely gives a little bit of relief and no pain for your dog's little paws. The next thing that you're going to probably want is a hairbrush and shampoo. Now these are like grooming essentials as well as winter essentials, just because sometimes when you come in for walks, your dog has been jumping in the snow, jumping in the slush, so they're going to be super dirty. So you want to make sure that you have a shampoo that you like, that you can trust, so you can wash your dirty dog. Now you don't want to wash your dog too often, so you're not stripping them of their natural oils in their fur and on their skin, but washing them every once in a while is not a huge issue. Usually Romeo gets washed around 1 to 2 times a month with soap, and sometimes I just rinse him off with just water, just so that I'm not stripping him of his natural oils and whatnot. I have 2 different types here, so I've got the Burt's Bees one that doesn't smell like anything, it's just a nice shampoo to have, and then I have the Earth Bath puppy shampoo that I got when he was first born, and this one's so good. This one smells like cherry. I really like Earth Bath. This is what I get from where I used to work. This is the brand that we carried in terms of dog shampoo, and I really like it. I think it's good. It washed him well, it left him smelling good, because you definitely want a dog that you want to be smelling. So you want to make sure that you're getting a scent that you enjoy, because you don't want to be smelling a dog that smells like for example, I don't like pine or cedar scents. So if I got a pine or a cedar scented shampoo and I used that on my dog, then I wouldn't want to cuddle it with him. So using this cherry one makes him smell so good, and I cuddle with him all the time, right? And then again, brush, just to make sure that you can brush out any mats that you might have, any snowballs that might attach to your dog's fur. Cavaliers have long fur, so they get a lot of snowballs on them. So just having a comb like this, just so you can kind of brush it out gently and try and get everything out the best that you can. And then the last thing that I'm going to bring up is toys. Now, there's going to be sometimes some really cold days where you do not want to be taking your dog on a walk, but your dog still needs stimulation. I see it with Romeo sometimes. Sometimes I can see how understimulated he is, and I know that that's not good for him. It's not good for me, because then he goes crazy inside and it drives me insane. So having toys, ignore that it has no eyes. He likes to rip the eyes off of his toys. Having toys that he can play with and distract himself with and chew on and anything like that is a great option. And this here, this is a treat ball. So if you look, it has a hole in it where you can put treats inside of it. Now these are great. Just putting regular treats in it and making them play with it and roll it around, because they will figure out that there are treats in there and they will be trying to get it out. And then sometimes you have to give them a little push and show them how to push the ball so that the treats come out. But eventually they'll get it on their own, and you can just put treats in it and let them go at it. Romeo loves this thing. He plays with it with or without treats, but he definitely loves it more when there's the treats in it. But yeah, having something like this or a Kong or whatever that they can go at and have fun with is definitely a good option. It keeps them busy, it keeps them happy, it keeps them distracted, and it keeps you sane. Those were the dog winter essentials. There's definitely more that I'm probably not thinking of / don't have, therefore not showing in this video. And I can't really think of any off the top of my head, but definitely let me know if you have any that you can think of, because I'm always looking for ways to make sure that I am keeping Romeo the safest and healthiest that I can. And in the winter that can definitely be difficult, because you can't go outside as much, and when you do, you have to bundle up more, which sometimes makes a grumpy dog. It's a mess, you know. But yeah, those are definitely all of the things that we are using at this moment. He has tons of toys, he has tons of treats, he has so many sweaters and jackets and whatnot. This dog is spoiled. You have no idea. He is so spoiled. He is so loved. So like I said, let me know if you have any other winter dog essentials and leave them down in the comments below, as well as give this video a big thumbs up. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I thank you so much for watching. I hope you will subscribe to my channel, because I'm posting more content 3 to 4 times a week. Every Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday there's a video, and every other Saturday there's a video, as well as I do stream on Twitch most days, so you can go check that out. I will leave the link in the description below. We are getting so close to 50 followers, and it would mean so much to me if you could just drop in, pop a follow down, and say hello. Literally any support helps and is greatly appreciated. Other than that, I hope you all have an amazing day or evening or morning or whatever, wherever it is, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!